So the Cape biome consists of 9,000 species of plant, really divided into three main groupings. The first, the most easily recognizable one are the proteas. And those are the flowering bushes. The national flower of South Africa is the king protea. The second are the ericas, otherwise known as heather, if one lives in the Northern Hemisphere. And to give you some idea of the species variety, there are about 700 species of erica in the Cape biome. There are about just eight in the Northern Hemisphere. So this massive variety. And then the third major type of plant are the restios. They're almost grass-like reeds, but there are about 600 different species of restio. You'll also be familiar with some of the others, the plants like the geranium. Worldwide, all of those geraniums that hang from window boxes all originated in the Cape biome. Where we're parked at the moment is just on the outskirts of Kirstenbosch, and Angela, if you'd like to continue, please. Just give you a little bit of history of Kirstenbosch. As the Dutch settled the Cape, there was constant conflict between the Dutch and the Khoisan, who are the indigenous population here, and there was stealing and counter-stealing of cattle and other goods. So Van Riebeck initially tried to build a wall to separate. Turning left. Tried to build a wall to separate the Dutch colony from the Khoisan. That didn't work. So instead he grew a Cape almond hedge using the Cape almond tree, and he used a lot of thorn bushes, and that parts of that hedge can still be found in Kirstenbosch. If we look out in front of us, above us is Fernwood Buttress, and next to it is Ascension Buttress. That's the east end of Table Mountain. And as you can see, the cliffs drop straight down to our level. And Angela, if you just pull over where that car is pulling over, just on the other side of the entrance would be handy. This is the entrance to Kirstenbosch. And Kirstenbosch initially was given over to farming, but in 1895 Cecil John Rhodes bought the farm, really let it lie fallow for a while. His major effort was to plant an avenue of trees. What he wanted to do was to invite Queen Victoria to come to Cape Town, and he, as part of the visit, wanted to drive her down an avenue of trees that contained all of the trees that could be found in the British Empire. And he started planting trees from all over the world. Unfortunately, that never happened. He died before she could come out to South Africa. And parts of that avenue of trees are still visible, particularly in Kirstenbosch Garden. When he died, Rhodes bequeathed the land that he owned, which was basically the whole of the southern slopes of Table Mountain. So all of the area that we've been driving through, this was all Rhodes's land when he was alive. He bequeathed that to the people of Cape Town so that they would always have free access to the slopes of Table Mountain. And Kirstenbosch was a part of that. And in 1930 it was decided to create a botanical garden, and the intention was to create a garden that reflected the indigenous vegetation of the Cape. So Kirstenbosch now is one of very few botanical gardens worldwide that only has indigenous vegetation. There are a few trees that are alien, some oaks and some pines, but the intention with those trees is as they die off, they will be replaced by indigenous trees. So eventually, probably in another 20 or so years, there will be no invasive or alien plants in Kirstenbosch at all. And Kirstenbosch is a magnificent place to go walking, and really reflects the vegetation of the Greater Cape in beautiful fashion. Okay, could we continue, Angela? Just finalizing our talk about Kirstenbosch. About 60 acres has been turned into a formal garden, but the bulk of the land, which really is from where we are at the moment right up onto the top of the mountain, that's been left to it's the natural appearance of the vegetation. So one can walk through the formal part and then walking up onto the mountain slopes into the natural part. The road we're traveling on is Rhodes Avenue, and very sought after residential area because of its proximity to the mountain and its access to the walks and the pathways on the mountain slopes. Our next port of call is the University of Cape Town, and I'll just give you a little bit of background to the university. It started as the South African College that was developed in 1829, and it was built in the Newlands area, and only in 1928 was the university moved to its current position, and the old university, the old premises, continued as a school, and that's Sachs High School. And Angela, you're going to go straight across here.